everyone, I'm Rincey and this is Rincey Reads. Today I'm going to be doing a library book haul for you guys, and this library book haul is kind of themed. There is this event being hosted by Book Riot called Book Riot Live. It's taking place in New York City in November, and it's basically just what they would want out of a convention. There are a lot of really great authors who are coming. Margaret Atwood's going to be there, Laurie Halse Anderson's going to be there, Lucy Knisley, who is the illustrator and author of like Relish and Age of License and a bunch of other travelogues. I'm super excited. I'm going to be there as well as lots of other people who work at Book Riot, so I will have a link down below to the website in case you guys are interested in that if you live near or around New York City or just want to go to New York City. So basically all of these books except for one are books from authors who are going to be at Book Riot Live. One of my goals for the next couple months is just to be able to read at least one book from all the different authors who are going to be there if I can, just so that way when I'm there I'll have like some sort of awareness of their writing and their style, and you know, I will hopefully discover lots of new authors that I will love. So the first book I'm going to show is the only book that isn't from a Book Riot Live author, at least not that I think. It's actually one that I've already tried to read, but I actually DNF'd it, and I just wanted to talk about it really quick, and that's Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll. This was getting quite a decent amount of buzz right when it came out. I know a couple of people read it here on BookTube and really enjoyed it, so I put it on my hold list at my library, and it finally came in a couple weeks ago, and I tried it, but I actually DNF'd it because I really could not get into it. I found the main character to be really grating, and I have no problems with like unlikable characters, but this one just really bothered me and it made it really difficult for me to get through. The writing isn't bad, like it's pretty engaging. You do want to know what the mystery is, what's going on with this girl, and you flash back and forth in time between the main character today as well as the main character in high school. If this book had just taken place in high school and I was just learning about these characters and seeing the things that they were going through, I probably would have loved it. But anytime I would flash to present day, I was so bored and I kind of just wanted to hit myself over with the book. So when I reached the halfway point, I realized that I just didn't feel like putting in the effort for the rest of the book, and I made one of my friends, or asked one of my friends to tell me what happens because she had already read it. So yeah, I'm not saying that this is a bad book by any means, but it just wasn't the book for me. Next up I have A Girl at War by Sarah Novick. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. This is a coming of age novel, kind of. I'm about 50 pages into it. So in the beginning of this book, you're in Croatia in 1991, which is right around the time there was like this major conflict taking place in this area between the Croatians and the Slavics and Yugoslavia and all these different countries right in that part of Europe. And you're following this young girl named Anna who is living in Croatia and just learning about all these different conflicts. I believe she's about 11 years old in the beginning of this book, somewhere around that age. And so she's just seeing this conflict and this war just sort of erupt around her, and it's just like changing her life as you would expect. And then later on in the story, you're flash forwarding to 2001 New York, and I believe Anna has moved to New York City, and obviously 2001 New York has a very important event that happens then too. Next I have Shadow Ops Control Point by Mike Cole. This is like part science fiction, part thriller, I believe. You're following this army officer named Oscar who works for this special supernatural op group that's part of the army, and they come across this magical power slash being that they have to fight. I have never read anything like this before. I have no real knowledge of the genre, so I have no idea if I'm gonna like it or not, but I'm kind of interested just to see how it goes and to be exposed to a new type of book. Next I have The 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin, which is the first book in, I don't remember what the series is called, but it's the first book in one of her series. I had one of her other books that I hauled a while ago, and I tried to read it, but I really could not get into it, so I decided to pick up another one of her books from the library just to give it a try and to see that maybe that one just wasn't the right one for me. I always hear such good things about N.K. Jemisin, especially for being a diverse writer and a writer who writes fantasy that doesn't just take place in like England. Next up I have The Gospel of Winter by Brendan Keeley, I believe. Yeah, I really know nothing about this book other than you're following this teenage boy named Aiden Donovan, and his family is basically like falling apart. Probably his parents are getting divorced, and he turns to prescription drugs and alcohol, and he's just falling apart completely, and it's about him just dealing with his life situation and trying to get over it with the help of the people around him, I believe. we'll see how it goes. Next I have When I Was the Greatest by Jason Reynolds. This is one of those books I've had on my radar since it came out. I've heard a lot of really great praise about it. It takes place in the inner city, I believe, and you're following sort of like a father-son relationship as they are just trying to live their lives in this slightly tumultuous neighborhood. I believe there's also something having to do with like gang wars or something like that, so I'm very, very interested to see or to read this book for myself because I've heard such good things about it. Next up I have Safekeeping by Jessamine Hope. This one follows this man named Adam who is a recovering drug addict living in New York City in the 90s, and to sort of atone for his past deeds, he has to give this family heirloom, which is like a Jewish brooch, to the woman that his father loved while they were in jail together in the Holocaust, I believe. And then while he's sort of on this journey of redemption, he comes across a handful of other people who are also on a journey of redemption. So it just sounds super intriguing and unlike anything else I've ever read before, so this should be interesting. Next up I have Tiny Pretty Things by Sonia Charapotra and Danielle Clayton. I believe that's how you say their names. This is a book I'm super, super excited for. This is one that I've been on hold for since it came out, basically. It follows a group of ballerinas and just following their lives and just like the deep darkness that's hidden in their lives that they try to cover up and be these perfect ballerinas. I love stories about ballerinas and the ballet world and just all of the craziness that they have to deal with in order to succeed as a ballerina. Next up I have Shadow Shaper by Daniel Jose Older. This is a young adult book following this young girl named Sierra Santiago who finds out she has magical powers and that she is able to infuse magic and her like ancestral heritage into different works of art like paintings and music and stories. This is another one that I've had on my TBR since I've heard about it. This cover is absolutely eye-catching and I've heard really, really good things about it, and it's pretty short, so I'm very excited to read some Daniel Jose Older finally. I also have one of his other books that I like physically own, but I feel like this one would be slightly more up my alley, so I'm going to read this one first before reading his other one. Next up I have Edinburgh by Alexander Chee. This one sounds super complicated and heavy and will probably be the last one that I read, potentially because it sounds so like heartbreaking. You're following Fee, who is a Korean American boy growing up in Maine. He has this like beautiful soprano voice, and so he joins a boys choir, and it turns out the choir teacher gets arrested for pedophilia, and then it's like Fee and his friends just sort of dealing with that and suffering through that and growing up and dealing with just all of the things that come with that. So yeah, this one sounds super heavy and deep, and it'll definitely be interesting, that's for sure, but I'm kind of not excited for this one just because the topic might be a little bit much for me to deal with. So yeah, those are all of the books that I've checked out from the library. I'm going to be reading these relatively like slowly and spread out over the course of the next couple months, and I can't guarantee that I'm going to actually finish all of these because I do DNF books all the time, particularly ones from the library, but I'm going to try my best. So if you are interested in my thoughts or when I'm reading these, feel free to follow me on Goodreads. If you've read any of these books, definitely leave a comment down below letting me know what you guys thought of them, because I'm super interested to try all of these books because these are all authors who I've never either heard of before or I've never read any of their work before, so I'm very, very excited to give all these different books and genres a try. Just as a reminder, Book Riot Live information will be down in the description box below, and let me know if you will be attending. So yeah, that's all I have for now, and thanks for watching.